Forgot what I was doing there. Yeah, I have ADD. Today we're going to on Classic Driver's Garage. Welcome back to Classic Driver's Garage. I'm Justin, and today we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to head into the garage and talk about who we are and what we do. Before I head in, we're going to head over and see what Phil's up to.
Yep. Hey, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're having a snow day today. Forecast calls for 20 centimeters of snow with some freezing rain. 20 centimeters is almost a foot. Not a foot, but almost a foot of snow. So my classic driver is not going to be driving anywhere today. Where I live in a suburb of Montreal, they salt them up really damn good here. If we get 2 centimeters of snow, they put down 5 centimeters of salt. So my car unfortunately sits for quite a while. In fact, right now my car has been sitting since November, and it sits till about May until they clean off, I let it rain a bit and get all that salt off the roads. So yeah, my car unfortunately has been sitting here. I'm having some serious car withdrawals. Usually that kicks in like the spring, you want to get the car out, it starts getting nice, but I didn't get to drive it that much last year because of the road work in front of my house. So maybe that's why it's kicking in now. I mean, it's January 16th. I'm going to be watching the Packers game this afternoon, but I got nothing to do right now. And Justin thought it would be a good idea because we've done some how-tos, but we haven't really introduced ourselves or the cars. We're both kind of camera shy, and we're getting used to talking to the camera and stuff. So thought I'd come out and just kind of show the car, and maybe that would, soothe my cravings for the car here. So as you can see, the car's been sitting for a while. When I'm not working on it during the winter, I kind of glue it up against that wall so I can get through here. And of course, does your guys' garage look like this? I mean, it does not take long, and I get all kinds of stuff just piled up around it, in front of it, So I'm going to move all this crap out of the way here, and I'll set up the phone on my tripod, and I'll pull the cover off, and I'll just give you a brief little walk. Well, I can't really walk around it because it's a good thing, but I'll talk about the car a little bit. So here it is. This is my 1978 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. It's a 404-speed car. It's Marty blue with the light blue interior. I'm the third owner of the car. I have all the documentation. This is the car's original paint, believe it or not. If I get you in closer, you'll see it's got road rash, it's got nicks, and it's got scratches. The only things I had repainted were the fender spoilers, and I had the rear bumper repainted because the paint had worn through so thin that you could literally see whatever that material is underneath. Like, it was really thin. So yeah, I was fortunate enough to get this car at 18 years old. That's back in 1999. Back in 99, these cars, they didn't really have any value. Nobody really cared about them. Even now, they're still shaking off the image of a guy with a mullet listening to Whitesnake driving on the road. So now they're more valuable, but back then nobody really cared about them. But I just happen to love these cars. In fact, I've liked these cars since I was really, really young. My friend Rob, he's got a white one. You might have seen a picture of it on our Instagram page if you follow us on Instagram. His brother bought a white 404-speed car in 88 or 89, so I was like 7 or 8 years old, and he gave us a ride in it, and this car was just amazing. So actually, my friend Rob has that car now. Anyways, that's a story for another day. But that's how long I've loved these cars. So I was fortunate enough to get this car in '99. It was my dad's, a buddy of my dad's that he worked with. He actually ordered the car, special ordered the car from a dealership called in Dorval, Quebec, called Parkway. No, not Parkway. Oh crap. Anyways, I'm forgetting it. But the dealership doesn't exist anymore. It's been closed down. But he ordered it there, and he kept it a year, and he sold it to another colleague of my dad's that he worked with, and he kept it from '79 all the way until '99 until I got it. And I never thought he'd sell. I had bought a '77 before I got this one. That was really rough, but I was going to fix it up, and then I got this one, and I sold the '77. Of course, I wish I could have it back now, but whatever. So that's it. It's the original paint. It's I've had it since I was 18, so I've done a lot of dumbass stuff in it when I was younger. I think the first summer I had it, I think I went through 2 sets of tires with it in the back. I mean, in '99, it was a pretty, it was a fast car back then. By today's standards, it's slow, but I mean, it has enough, it gets up and goes. It's not a total dog, but I mean, it doesn't have 700 horsepower like your modern stuff today. It's making about 290, 300 horsepower, net horsepower right now, because the guy I got it off of, he had swapped the cam out in the early '90s, and it's not totally stock, and it's not a Survivor. It's been messed with. I have all the original parts and boxes, and this car is not a trailer queen. I've road tripped it. I currently still try to road trip it. It doesn't have overdrive, so it's got a 342 gear, so I have to cruise it around 110, which is about 70, and it's spinning just below 3 grand, so I can live with it. I don't really want to cut up the tunnel to put in a 5-speed, so I live with it like that, and it's a lot of fun to have. I'm going to take you off the tripod there, and I'll get you in a little closer, and I think Justin will be showing you his Nova too, so this is going to be kind of fun because he's got a really cool story about his Nova, but I'm going to let him tell it because it's a really cool story. All right, so I'll get you off the tripod, and I'll get you in a little closer. You're going to see this car is not perfect, but I love it. So, and it's got a lot of sentimental value to me. I've had it a long time. Me and Justin aren't flippers. We don't do this for a living. We're just car guys like you, having fun with our cars. And we just happen to have had them for a long time. Like now, I don't know if I could go out and buy one because they're like 5 times the price as they were 20 years ago, But I'm lucky enough to have it, so I'm really grateful, and I'll bring you guys in and show it to you. So here's what I was saying about how it's original. As you get up close, you can see the hood bird it's kind of peeling a bit right there, because for years I'd take it to work and I would leave it in the sun all day, and it would bake for 9-10 hours in the sun because I work long days. And now, actually, when I take it to work, believe it or not, I'll actually take the time to put the cover on it, because if I can try to reduce this, I will, because I don't really want to paint it. I like the patina. It's not what you would call a rat rod, but it's got dings and it's got scratches, and I like the fact that it's not perfect because it shows that the car is driven, and I drive it hard. Like, I don't baby it. Like, I'm not afraid to get on it. I'll show you the motor here. It's all matched numbers. So it was 220 horse stock. That's what they were rated at, but over the years, documentation have showed that they actually made more power than what they were rated at. And, a lot of '70s cars get ragged on for being slow, but it doesn't take much to wake them up, and they can actually run pretty good. Cut the cat off, which was a very popular mod back then. Everybody cut the catalytic converter off. You can just rejet the carburetor and recurve the dizzy, and just like that, you're really going to wake it up a bit. A lot of the cams were low lift. If you don't even want to swap the cam, you could probably just put some higher, high ratio rockers on it and just increase the lift, and it'll give you a bit more torque. But like I said, the guy I got the car off of, he swapped out the cam before I even got it. So it's not a true Survivor. Another thing that I did, it had an original intake. I still have the original intake. Then for years I ran a Performer because I thought that would be better. Then I actually noticed, if you look at a Performer next to a stock intake, you'll see the runners are smaller. So, but now I've swapped in. I got this intake. I was looking for it for a while. I actually picked this up in Spring Carlisle. We normally go every year. That's a 1-year only intake. It's a 1972 intake. That fits any year of Pontiac head. I know it doesn't flow any better necessarily than the stock 78 intake, but the reason why I like this one is it doesn't have the EGR valve and all this stuff right here. And the car doesn't really get driven much in cold or cold weather. I mean, once the snow hits, I don't drive it. But if it's 0 degrees out and there's no snow and they haven't salted, I will drive it. But it doesn't usually take very long for it to start idling. The car had headers on it when I got it. I have since taken those off because they weren't good headers, they were crappy ones, and I put on those the Ram Air manifolds, and these are the 2.25-inch outlet versions of those. So I have no regrets running that. On Rob's car, he's running the Headman headers, and they took up a lot better than the headers that I had on it. I have no idea what brand a header was on it. They were junk. Yeah, they would bottom out, and it wasn't fun to drive the car. A couple years ago, I'd say about actually going on 6 years ago, before me and Justin started the channel, which is too bad, is I tore apart the whole front end here. I replaced all the air on bushings, upper lower ball joints. I redid the whole front end. I stripped the frame. I painted it. I didn't remove the frame, but I just cleaned it all up, and I used that Eastwood kit to repaint my booster and tried to detail it. But I spent hours detailing it, and you know what? You spend hours detailing it, you drive it, it gets dirty. So the moral of the story is if you're going to drive it, you can make it look nice, but it's a lot of work if you're going to keep it clean after you spend hours detailing it. I can't be bothered. I try to keep it clean, but So that's it. Other subtle little mods, it's got Russell stainless steel brake lines where the flex lines are. I put poly body bushings on it, and it's got bolt-in subframe connectors, and the subframe connectors actually came from the original owner, and now they're basically the comp engineering kinds, but these ones are so old, the box said Moroso on them. So it's got that on it. See, it's got road rash. I mean, it's driven. Show you guys the interior. There's the 4-speed. Now, for a while, I was running one of those white, I still have it, one of those white knob ones that look like a Hearst shifter, Let me know what you guys think. Do you prefer the stock shift, the knob, or do you like those white ones? Because the rest of the interior is basically stock except for the radio. And the car currently has 86,000 kilometers on it. Almost 87,000 kilometers on it. When I bought it, it had 47,000. So I've done about 40,000 K with it over, 22 years this year. But you got to remember, the car sits for quite several months over the winter. And then when my son was born, life, there was some years where I didn't get to drive it as much. Now, as I'm getting older, I really start to miss it when I can't drive it. So yeah, that's basically the car. There you go. And it's a lot of fun to drive. I can't, some guys like to have an old car and they like to keep it in the garage. There's many different facets to the hobby. Some guys just want to go fast or whatever. I like to drive it. I like to use, I've done the groceries in it, that's my thing. So I just want to say we appreciate all our subscribers, everybody who's been started following us. We're just car guys just trying to have some fun. Like, the world's crazy right now and there's a lot of shit going on, and this is a way to just kind of forget all that, and it's just a hobby and it's just fun. So I'm going to let Justin now talk about his car. It's a really cool car with a really cool story, and we'll see you guys soon. We got some more how-tos coming up. All right. So here we go with Justin.
For this episode, let's get to the next part of the segment. Now let's talk about classic drivers. So Phil and I and many other car enthusiasts that are into classic cars like to drive them. They were built for driving. They're not built to be a trailer queen. They're not built just to go to shows. They're built to enjoy and drive. You could see when I walked in that my car was under a cover. And why is that? Well, you saw it there. There's almost a foot of snow. I can't even get it out the driveway. And they load the roads full of salt here in Quebec. So our classic car would turn into a rust bucket in no time. So I don't drive it in the winter. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on my car. I bought the car when I was 16. I hadn't even received my full driver's license yet. I just had my learner's permit, and I bought it off my grandfather. It sat next to his barn in the summer, and it was parked in the barn most of the time in the winter. So I guess we could say that it's a barn find. So let's pull the cover off, and I'll give you a quick rundown of what this car is. All right, so this is a 1974 Chevrolet Nova, and it was basically a base model car. My grandfather bought it brand new from a local car dealer. I live in a rural town, little town, and he bought it from the car dealer there, and it is since been closed down. It's probably been closed down for almost 20 years. I'll try and throw a little video in or a pic of what the dealership used to look like and what it looks like now. So this car, as you can see, it's not in stock form. This was a base model car, and when I bought it off my grandfather told me to do whatever I wanted to do to it. He said, you enjoy it, make yourself happy. And I really lean towards the pro touring look. I'll explain a few things, what I've done. This car used to be a inline 6 250. It's a great engine. I drove it like that. I probably drove it with the straight 6 for, I don't know, probably like 15 years. Maybe not that long. 10 years? Anyway, whatever. We'll continue on. Presently, the car has a big block in it. This is a 427 truck engine. Yes, a truck engine. I've ran it like this for a long time. Again, probably almost 10 years. And it's been a great engine, bulletproof, lots of torque. The only thing I don't like about that engine is it's god-awful heavy. So I think I may reduce the weight, and yeah, everybody's gonna hate me for it. I'm gonna go the LS route. That's my decision. That's what I want to do. What else have we done? I've done a lot of suspension work. I've put 17-inch wheels. I don't really care for these wheels. They're Foose. I don't Nitro, I think, or something like that. But they're actually pretty heavy. The chrome is kind of cheap, and whatever. I'd like to change them for something lighter, more classic car looking. I truly love a 5-spoke, as you can see. I have some torque thrusts up there, 14-inch. But I did have those wheels on the car, but they're a 2-piece wheel, and I heard they can explode. So I took them off, and I went to these wheels. As you can see, it used to be a drum brake car. I have disc brakes, Hotchkiss front lowering coils, Bilstein shocks, front Hotchkiss sway bar, Hotchkiss lowering springs in the back, energy suspension polyurethane bushings. You probably just saw the last video. I installed a rear sway bar. I have weld-in frame rail connectors. I think it's by Competition Engineering. What else have I done? I don't know. There's too much stuff to remember what I've done for suspension and performance-wise. Obviously, I have a 2-inch cowl induction hood. We could take a little look at the interior if you would like. So it has a bench seat. That's original. The bench seat is original, that is. I've put a carpet in the car. It used to be just a rubber floor mat. You can see in one of my other episodes, I put this center console in with the gauges, and I fabricated cup holders. It's fuel injection with Phytech. Now, why did I go to Phytech? Well, this is why. I parked the car in the fall. October 31st, it's always off the road. And we are mid-January. I have not started it since. It's easy as that, folks. I have not touched this thing. I love hearing that thing start up. It's just awesome. Let's take a look. I don't know what that's gonna sound like, but don't you just love the smell of an old car? It smells great. I also put a clock and tack in the dash. Yeah, I have kick panel speakers I made. I wanted the car enjoyable to drive. The interior's in fairly good condition. I made those speakers back there too. If this was a rare car, I probably would have kept everything to the T and perfectly original. Because this is a base model car, it's my car. I'm allowed to do what I want with it. So I did. So this car, I drive it. You can see it's really, I think you can see, it's really full of dust. And why is it full of dust? This is why. It has road rash. I mean, I've got, there's some bubbles on the fender. The door gaps aren't 100%. These actually came like that from factory pretty much. I mean, the car has never been accidented. So my goal for the car is to have a long distance runner, a long haul car where I can drive anywhere I want and I don't have to worry. That is one of the reasons I want to take the big block out and go to an LS. So I can cruise worry free. And it doesn't cost me an arm and a leg because 8 miles to the gallon is getting a little old. Anyways, guys, I think I've gabbed away long enough. If you like this vlog style, let us know. Let us know. We can do this more often. We can explain to you other things on our cars, or if you'd like to see an in-depth project on something else, let us know. If it wasn't for the pandemic, we'd probably have a new project by now. But it hasn't happened. So for now, we're just doing little projects on the cars we already have. Another thing I'd like to maybe show for fabrication is if you guys want me to do a small series on, say, TIG welding, like I made this X pipe. I could give a quick lesson on how a beginner could go about TIG welding, because that's what I am. I'm a beginner. I'm not a professional. So I will leave you guys with that. Check you later.